Welcome to Fabricated, the podcast where we weave together the stories, minds and innovations behind IP Fabric. I'm Lukas Souhrada from People and Culture team, and I couldn't be more excited to kick things off with a very special guest today, Pavel Bykov, our CEO and founder. Today we'll be diving into the story behind IP Fabric, where it all started, what drives our innovation, vision, and what it really means to build a company from the ground up in the world of network automation. I bet you are very curious to learn more, so let's jump right in. Pavel, tell me, let's rewind a little bit. Can you take us back to the beginning of IP Fabric, where it sparked the ideas, and how did you turn it into reality?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for organizing this. I mean, I like that we can talk about these topics that sometimes people are curious about, but to talk about them in this fashion, like entire history of the company. It's always a good time to reminisce about to look back and what we have achieved. Going back to the origins, I would say the idea was always there. I remember from the very first projects that I was on. And I was lucky enough that my very first project was to build back then the largest IP call center in Europe at the time. So starting with such a large project, you end up with the challenges of scale. You know, there are these engineering questions that like how do you connect it redundantly, and how do you test that the redundancy is there today or the next day. And then the fact that deploying these very expensive monitoring systems that have not been able to even tell me what I've done with the network infrastructure, because they just couldn't see everything and were missing things, had me thinking about, well, there must be a better way. And then, of course, finding out that a lot of engineers think alike, and there were many efforts to actually to solve this problem. But as they say, you know, the problem worthy of attack shows itself by fighting back. It is a difficult problem. Like that's what it was. Like that's why it was unsolved, and so. I would say the idea was forming over the decade and a half that I was actively architecting and building large-scale and global network infrastructures, until the day where I felt that it's no longer possible to be in control of this global infrastructure without this technology.
Interesting. Well, tell me, what were the early days of building IP Fabric like? Do you have any funny moments or garage startup moments and lessons learned in a hard way that you would like to share with us?
I would, not sure if funny, but definitely the garage mentality. Even finding out, like, why do people end up in a garage? You know, then you find out, well, it's a place that allows you to build things, to experiment quickly, to be there 24/7 without disturbing somebody. That is, it does have its charm. And I would say, like, from the early days and what some of the lessons learned specifically, like entire journey is this big lessons learned. Like starting out with as an engineer that knows exactly how to approach and solve the problem, because that's the engineering mindset, to find the solutions. But solving a technical problem, you also have to understand all of the other aspects of what are needed to build a scalable company. So you start learning about sales, about marketing, about people organization. All of these, those are all very, very hard lessons, expanding your horizon, understanding what it takes to build a company. So absolutely, there's some people ask me, what would you do differently? And I would say, pretty much everything. I mean, that's okay. The point is that you cannot go back and regret what you've done. That's a fallacy. We shouldn't be should have, could have, would have. That's just unproductive. But it is important to take in those lessons learned, to heed to them, to learn from your from the not just mistakes, but also from success. It is actually much harder to learn from success than from failure, because if it's fail, it's definitive, and you have to learn from it.
To start again.
It's success, but there is no absolute, right or wrong. You always have, somebody is right to a point, and more than they are wrong, but especially when you don't know about something and somebody comes in and says, I've seen that work somewhere else. Well, it worked there because that's that place. That's another company. Like, what defines you as a company? Like, you have to build your own thing and take those other experiences. Like, okay, that's a good input.
Combine it together.
But it's what we are first and foremost, and then enhance it or augment it with those additional experiences to improve it further. But some things are just not really for us. So it's really this is the entire journey of learning.
I understand. It's pretty much like the client's infrastructure. You can have there all sorts of devices, but every client has it differently done. So you cannot really apply a simple template.
Absolutely, exactly.
Or expect it to be running.
That is very similar. Exactly what we do. Like these complex, supercritical networks. Like that is their one fundamental property, is that they're all built a little bit differently. That you cannot have a network that's always the same, because there are specific companies like service providers, and especially of the residential services, that have these cookie cutter services. You can buy small, medium, large T-shirt sizes. And they build that from the foundation, like that's the only service that we provide, that's our company, that's how we work. However, the infrastructure, like the communication infrastructure of the companies, it has to closely mirror what the business does. So then if that business does a certain thing, like the networks have to enable exactly this certain thing. So that's why the networking is different, because the companies are different. So there is a lot of similarities in that way.
That's what brings the fun into the business, actually, because if it would be simple, everybody else would be doing it. This is why we can, become the kings on the market.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, what we are doing is definitely challenging. Like it is a very hard problem to solve. There is still a lot ahead of us. So
good to know. There's going to be a lot of fun still. Right. When you look at how far you have come, is there something you are really proud of, or what are you the most proud of?
I think it is that we are tackling this really fundamentally hard problem. That, as I said, that the problem worthy of attack shows itself by fighting back the impact that we had on the market and the way how we actually are changing the direction, this overall mission that we are on to democratize network infrastructure control for the enterprises. It does. We are having an impact. We are seeing that companies are using the assurance language more and more. We are seeing that we are able to prevent disasters, that we can secure our clients. So the fundamental the fundamental question that people have: am I doing something worthwhile? That for us, that we are able to proudly answer that we are having an impact and truly changing the world.
Definitely something to be proud of, because reducing downtime, making sure that airplanes can fly, cargo ships can sail, that's definitely good. Pavel, what were the moments that you were thinking, this is too hard, this is not going to work? And what did you do to overcome this, to actually make it work?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them. It is definitely a challenge. I think that's why when there are young companies, people need to essentially basically quit their job and completely dedicate to something fully, because there are always obstacles, and some obstacles are just maybe too hard even. The resilience is definitely a big name of the game. Building that character to be able to handle those moments. I remember a revelation for me was a Waze founder, the navigation app. He was showing the very first paths that the car took around the square in Bratislava, around their roundabout. So that was the first line going one way, and then the car turned around, and because those are crowdsourced maps essentially. And he said that during his building, that he slept like a baby, meaning that he woke up every hour and cried. So and that just shows that you have to overcome the obstacles no matter what. So that form of resilience, whether it is learned or how you find it, like everybody has their own way, but it is important to have that you're not alone. Like, this is not one-man show. It is a company relying on people, relying on your co-founders, relying on your team to make progress. And sometimes someone is down, somebody else is up, somebody else is down, somebody else is up. Like, it is challenging. Like, it's challenging. It's definitely not something that's that everybody can do, and that's why also so many companies fail, because it is just. It's just very hard. So
it's a long marathon.
It's a great question to ask, but if there would be a blueprint how to do things, like I would also say that it's important to balance things out. Like, you cannot have all fires. If you have a fire and you have some firefighter rushing to the fire, that's good. But if everything is on fire, including your fire station, like
it's hard to save.
You cannot end up in that situation. I mean, it always has to be. It has to be manageable. Like, that's why you need to have parts of your life you have to have stable. I would say that my family was also a big part and supporting me throughout this journey. You cannot say that you did something alone because of your own, like, that's who I am. Like, you are there to, of course, to change things, to have your impact, but just thinking that it's just you, you have to recognize that, okay, I have these people, I have the co-workers that I want to be with them. I have the family who are supporting me. We're all on this, and it's
the environment, which is safe.
So creating this space that you can progress further and just not be alone. It's definitely the success is built together.
Yeah, definitely. This is something that we can set in stone, because you cannot be firefighting a forest fire when your own house is being flooded or something, right? You have to have things set straight so we can focus on things that matter.
Yeah.
Pavel, tell me, is there a story or a milestone that you think that perfectly captures what IP Fabric actually stands for?
I think it's when a prospect comes up to us and says that, well, okay, I've tried so many different products, but I've heard that yours actually works. Let's see it. And the fact that we are the ones running to the customer's problem and solving it, this deep understanding of what the actual customer's problem is, and making it our business to solve that problem. It's really fundamentally who we are, that we are solving the problem of the hybrid cloud infrastructure control in enterprise space, and we are earned reputation for it by being the company that actually can tackle this super hard problem.
Pavel, IP Fabric is now 130 people strong. Tell us, how do you stay connected? How do you remember all those names and stories still?
I mean, the secret is simple. Like, you have to genuinely care. You know, as like the culture is extremely important, and by genuinely creating what we care about makes a difference. You know, I'm even here with you because you are doing a good job of, you know, how you were talking about our company, and it just really was really inspiring for me that you care about that work, same as how you came here, and through Martin as well, who knowing all of these stories is not for me something that I have to keep remembering, but by caring about how we build the company overall, and just genuinely being invested, and this is what we're building, makes that, you know, super simple.
Right. And you know, each and every one of us is a little bit different, so this is maybe the hint, you know, of remembering everybody's story, because each and every one is kind of unique, right, within the company. This is what builds IP Fabric, what I believe, because if we all would be the same, we would be basically tackling the problems and the challenges in the same way. That wouldn't bring the results.
Well, but it also another revelation I had recently. Like, you, as you said, you know, we're around 130. Like, imagine taking just 130 people, let's say of the similar skill set, and just saying them, okay, now you're doing this company. Is this going to be IP Fabric or not?
No, I don't think so.
Exactly. Like, what makes us is this exactly that we have those internal properties. Like someone said that we are the company with a heart, that we do have a heart, that we do genuinely invested in fundamentally addressing this important infrastructure issue. It is admittedly infrastructure is not exactly the most exciting of spaces, but it is fundamental for this digital world, and somehow, like, bringing our unique perspective, but fundamentally remaining part of IP Fabric is that really makes a difference.
Yep, totally agree. And it's actually fun to see, you know, the developers, network support engineers, and financial people from the back actually working together, going together on a team building and having fun there, because it's so many different personalities. Some of them are open, some of them are more introvert. Suddenly you see them, you know, working together, playing activities and such, and that's great. That's great. Yeah. That's what I like. Pavel, tell me, what's one thing that still surprises you about leading a fast-growing company?
I think it is just how much we are changing the field. Like once you push and you are creating this change, and how many really motivated people there are that want to have an impact on the industry, and how much we are able to drive that change.
Right.
That is really surprising.
Nice, cool. Pavel, if you could teach every new joiner in the company some little Pavelism about IP Fabric, what would it be?
I think it is running to a challenge, that we are really solving the problem for the customer and genuinely care about the problem that we are solving. That has to be the part of the work.
Okay, nice. Pavel, what are the biggest challenges that IP Fabric is facing right now, and what excites you the most about this?
I would say the execution maturity curve, it's getting steeper and steeper. Like there are not as many external factors that are limiting our potential. It's really the problem that we are solving is really hard. And how well we are able to solve that problem, that we are so-called the masters of our own fate. And this is also what's exciting at the same time.
What are the current trends in network automation? What are you watching closely right now, Pavel?
Well, compliance is getting pulled into networking more and more. I would say from the point of view of what is expected of this foundational technology in bigger companies, the expectations are just higher and higher. With now that there were introduced even criminal penalties for non-compliance. Everybody understands that it's just much more critical technology than it was in the past. I would say the biggest trend is our trend, the network assurance that we have started and that we have pushed throughout the industry. That of course is I think is the most exciting because of all of the impact that we're having. I mean, of course, there are others like consolidation. There is SASE, even consolidation of the software-defined networking products. There is like this kernel-level eBPF. Like there are really always exciting things happening if you look under the hood. But for me, it is to stay and our course and develop the network assurance trend further.
Pavel, as we grow, how do we stay true to our mission?
I would say by living it every day. You know, we are not building a new company every day. We are solving a specific problem in the market, and we have to stay true to that mission and truly live it every day to develop it further.
Pavel, what is the one strategic move that you've done recently that's going to help shape our next chapter at IP Fabric?
I would say by investing more in our talent, building the management team. You know, even how we've met. That you were brought by Martin, and Martin is part of the new management team that I've built. So the investing in what talent we have in the company, people have the biggest impact on what your company is.
And company is going to be only as good as the people you have within the company.
Absolutely.
Pavel, you're based in Boston currently, and you fly quite frequently to Prague. Tell me, how do you stay in shape, and what's your secret to surviving all that travel?
Yeah, absolutely. It is demanding. There is a saying. It's actually from Matrix. Know thyself. It is about knowing your body's limits, knowing your body's cadence, what you are able to achieve on a consistent basis. Because I'm sure that we all are capable of great things in the short run, but doing something on a very consistent basis, like everybody needs to find their own pace
and the balance,
and absolutely the balance that allow to sustain such a prolonged heavy load.
And do you miss your family when you're in Prague and not staying in Boston?
So I'm not. I'm making sure that I don't miss them for too long of a time. So definitely that is a big factor, that I cannot be spending away from my family for too long periods consistently.
What's your internal limit? Is it like a week or a month?
I would say a week, definitely a week, and then if it is longer, then I would make my way back for at least for a weekend. So. I mean, there are always extreme cases, but again, on the continuous basis, the week is the optimal maximum that is acceptable.
Oh, I understand that. And do you miss Czech food when you're in Boston?
So my wife cooks very well. I don't, because she cooks same food that she cooks here. She cooks there as well, and I do have a family to support me. My in-laws take care of me when I'm here, so their cooking is also okay. You know, so it's more of that. I would say just generally restaurant food. I have to limit restaurant food because of how, at least my body reacts, that I cannot eat in restaurant every single day for a prolonged period of time.
When you're not running a high-growth company, Pavel, what do you do to unwind a little bit? And any hidden hobbies or secret talents?
Well, that's why they're secret, right?
All right.
I wouldn't say that they're something special. Just I like spending time with my family, you know, traveling. But right now I've traveled quite a bit. So I think I'll need to find some new ones. So.
So, besides, you know, being with the family, do you like hiking or cycling, something like this?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do that on a regular basis. I do have this cadence that, you know, week is for working, and weekend I usually spend with the family. I try to spend most of my weekends with the family, hiking, cycling, and exploring areas nearby.
Yeah, well, because compared to Czech Republic compared to the US, is definitely a different nature, different views and such.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pavel, what's your go-to meal? What's your kind of comfort food or your favorite guilty pleasure? Tell us.
I mean, when I moved to the US, I loved burgers. I felt like the only thing that I eat here, from when I order in the restaurant, I eat burgers all the time. But I must say, like eating burgers for over a year, I think I've had enough of that. So recently, I switched to pizza. So
okay. So for a year you'll survive on pizza, and then it will be off the list again.
We'll see. But I think it's also important not to indulge in those guilty pleasures for too long, because then
I can tell.
But having this I had this taste for burgers, and I should have maybe ate less burgers to still like them, but now I ate too many burgers, and I mean, I don't mind a burger once in a while anymore, but definitely indulging in those guilty pleasures in the US with all of those options that they have there, it has been impactful. So now it is pizza. Yeah.
All right, that's a good choice, especially to our future Italian colleagues, for example. Pavel, IP Fabric is pretty much 10 years old company. Do you have an idea about the future outlook, where we're gonna actually go in next years? What's the mission? What are the challenges and maybe adventures that lie ahead of us? Do you have an idea now?
Yeah, so the problem in the market remains unsolved, that we are not yet in every single large enterprise. The companies are realizing that the technology is inevitable. We do see more competitors coming onto the market. And for us as a company, how we grow, it still remains the main challenge to tackle, and the most exciting part of working here, that we are building fundamentally impactful technology, and it is, our work is important, we are making a change in the world. So
making an impact, so we can be proud of something in the future.
And building this still, I wouldn't say that, because it's not about like maintaining the course or something. Like every stage of the company is different. Like we know how the company would look like if it would be a behemoth, but how to get there, like how to get to that full market. Full market coverage. Like what has to be true for us to expand to that level, and how do we scale? That remains a fundamentally important question to answer.
And this brings us to the end of today's conversation. Huge thanks to Pavel for sharing all his ideas and also the outlook for the future. If you like this, please follow up, share, comment, and there will be definitely more to come. So definitely you can be more curious about other podcasts coming in.
And most importantly, get in touch with Lukas. We are always on a lookout for the great talent.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.